Hello, hello. This is Connor on Connor's Retribution Analysis. This is round 2 of a local tournament I went to over the weekend. This is Rahn versus Syvestro, which seems to just be what happens when I have Rahn in my pairing. Uh, they always seem to go for Syvestro because of the impenetrable haze and that anti-assassination tool. So I'm getting a lot of experience now. I've played this matchup a couple of times. It's always kind of gone the same way, and I'm just learning more and more about it. I'm trying to build my what happens if I don't get an assassination run type of play style. My thoughts are the Railless interceptors are pretty key for keeping Syvestro safe. So there's a limit to their threat range based on that. Scenarios being spread out really wide like this, very easy for me to score. There is the potential in one turn I can shoot down the objective, score my flag, and score my objectives just by push-pulling, manipulating, changing the whole board around, and maybe not even using feet. Depending on what I put into that objective, I'll need the damage for that. So there's definitely a really strong scenario game, but that's all going to kind of crumble a little bit once the Railless interceptors come out to play. But then there's also the hope that I can assassinate Syvestro if they do. So I want to see this play out farther past the assassination run. On the attrition front, my armor buff from Discordia, I think, is very helpful for limiting what the Railless can do against Helios and Discordia. And I believe Discordia can kill a Railless, maybe with a little bit of help from something else, since it'll be dice -1 and they have like 30-something boxes. Discordia can definitely spray down Morley or Mosby and deafen if they do tough. They just don't get to make orders, which is also really good. I really need to kill the Suppressor for that debuff that can make it so they can potentially shoot down Helios and Discordia. But yeah, let's just move forward with what actually happened in this game and stop my random talking that I've been doing. I went first. I got up the board, tried to be threatening, keep my arc nodes available. Polarity Shield is... Oh, come on now. I need my tool. There we go. Got my tool. Polarity Shield's on this Chimera. And that's about it. So my opponent comes forward, and this skips a slide, but more or less that battle engine is right here. Chimera was in this, Syvestro was in that cloud over there, and there was a Trancer right here. I ran a Chimera up here, ran another Chimera over here, stayed out of the admonition range of this Toro. I accidentally engaged the Chimera to the Trancer. I didn't need to. It was an accident. So to fix that, I could have done a Force Blast and pushed the Trancer back, but then I wouldn't be able to do a TK and a Force Hammer. So I decided to do things a little bit differently and double dip. So Discordia comes up, sprays it over the top of my Chimera, kills the Trancer, and hits Syvestro and deafens him. Not in range of Speed of Death, though, so just hangs out there. So now I'm definitely all in on this assassination run. And Rahn activates. He got Puppet Master. He got the reroll from the objective. And Arcane Secrets. So super loaded. TK's Syvestro out of the cloud. TK's this battle engine out of the way. And then I forget to do anything else. I should have done a Chain Blast, but I forgot. Whoops. So Helios tramples up to here, starts pulling Syvestro through. My Puppet Master should have been on Helios, but just, for double sure. But, Rahn assassination runs usually don't go perfect, and you just have to use the tools available to adapt to the situation you're in. Because there's lots of tools, and there's usually only one or two really key things that need to happen, and multiple ways of making it happen. So Syvestro's not knocked down, unfortunately. I didn't get the Force Hammer on the Trancer that I wanted to because I had to kill the Trancer because he was engaging Chimera. So Helios boost to hit the first one, hits the 6 he needs, pulls Syvestro 3. Boost to hit the second one, pulls Syvestro another 3. Then has to roll the raw 6. Misses with double once, so he stays right there. Battle mages hop over to here and they start pulling Syvestro this way. He gets knocked down in the process, and they kill him. I have these battle mages left, and these battle mages to hopefully shoot him through some gaps. But yep, that's how that happens. It's not the first time it's worked out this way. Like I said, all roads seem, when I'm playing Crucible Guard, all roads seem to lead to Syvestro versus Rahn if Rahn is in my pairing and Syvestro is in their pairing. It might be a pretty good opportunity for a team tournament format for me for dropping into Crucible Guard. I feel really good about Rahn into Locke and Baldwin, and probably McKay as well. I'd have to play that one, though. Syvestro is really common, though, so it seems to be this is how things work out. I'd like to play the attrition scenario game and get out of this assassination loop that I'm kind of in for the situation. It's just so reliable that I'm going to take it if it is there. But I have a love-hate relationship with Ron right now. He can be a very negative play experience, and I'm wondering if it's because Helios is in the list. Like, without Helios, this assassination run doesn't happen. Because I TK Syvestro to here, and then battle mages do not have the range, to, probably, in most situations, if Syvestro is like a couple inches back, to actually dig out Syvestro and pull him out. So those deep digging assassination runs are really Helios dependent for that trample and that 12-inch drag, the 20-inch threat compared to the battle mage's 12-inch threat. And, or 18-inch threat. Walk 6, fire 12. And if I drop Helios, I can make a more attrition-based list that has a Trident and probably another heavy. And that might be a more fun game because then the assassination run just won't really be there in a lot of those cases unless they're a little bit too aggressive. But it lets the games progress out longer. And I don't know, maybe I won't like that, but it's kind of what I'm thinking for Ron. We put too much time into getting to places to play Warmachine and then getting the game set up just for something like this to happen and not even really have a game of Warmachine. And this is a very generalized thing to say. It happens a lot with this Ron list. It's either I can do it or I can't do it. And it's usually just based on what the list is. Like Zal 2 Immortals, can't do it. Cole Grima, can't do it because of clouds and because she'll put dark rituals on herself and I'll never be able to target her with spells. I can slam something into her, and then Helios can pull her, but then there's no follow-up after that unless Discordia gets to her. There's Syria with her Arcane Vortexes, Gorshade 4 with her Arcane Vortexes. There's a lot of things that can shut down Ron just by naturally of what they are. If you do not have those things, it's extremely complicated to stop him. Like, I think the only way to really stop him in this situation is to hold back your Railless interceptors. Put one here, make it so it's base to base with this objective, so I can't TK it that way. Put Syvestro between the two of them, and measure out what happens if this one gets TK'd too, and if I can't slip a Chimera in there and you're farther than 5 back, I can't actually drag Syvestro between the two battle engines. Also, if there's a forest and a house or something in Vulcan and the map is different, you put the house there and you put the Vulcan there and you put Syvestro right here and he's safe. Don't even need impenetrable haze. Not going to happen. So there are outs that you can use in these situations, but also then Vulcan and Syvestro aren't even playing the game because they've got to be wherever that house is. And I just have to find a way to play the game without using my feet, or maybe even using my feet, and possibly scenario pressure. It's a way different game than what people are used to playing. It's not something people have had to think about. This is not a popular Ron list. And that makes it extremely complicated to figure out in the moment, especially too if you don't know what Ron does or you haven't had many reps against him and seen all the opportunities. Because it's one of those things where Force Hammer knocks down the caster. Then the caster get TK'd. And then Helios tramples up and pulls the caster. And then Battle Mages keep pulling the caster. And then Discordia goes and bops down the caster. All those things that happen in that order, you have to put together by somehow looking at a list and then knowing how to break that chain and stop it in one of those places. There's multiple ways of doing that. Like even stopping the Battle Mage chain by just layering tons and tons of stuff in front of your caster so that even if I do knock down Syvestro or whoever and try and pull the caster, I have this maze of stuff to fit through. And if I fail, my entire army will be splayed out right in front of your entire army, whatever's left of it. And then it's just smash some, magical fist elves, smash them right into the ground. That's kind of my thoughts on it. I hope you guys enjoy, guys and girls, and let me know what you think if you have any ideas or opinions on this Rahn matter. Thank you.